Okay, well, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. This is Luke Abbott from San Luis Obispo, California. He's a developer of Strum Machine app and I guess site. And yeah, he's going to show us how to use Strum Machine tonight. And then after that, we're going to move into our Monday night Bluegrass jam led by members. So if you have a tune to share with us later on, then we hope you'll do that. All right, Luke, thanks. Take it away.
Cool. Thanks. Well, hey everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I thought I would just start with just a brief overview of what this thing is in case anyone isn't familiar. And then I'll answer any questions. I figure just if you have a question, go ahead and unmute yourself and just ask it. It's fine. And or type it in the chat and I would be happy to answer any questions that come up. And then I'll show you maybe a couple little tips and tricks that people like to hear sometimes that they don't necessarily know. And maybe if we have time, I would maybe show how to enter a new song that isn't already in Strum Machine. So let's start with just showing you Strum Machine. So I'm going to share my screen here. All right. So this is Strum Machine. It comes with a library of about 1,200 tunes. And it's mostly between bluegrass and old time and a little bit of et cetera as well. And this is something I plan to continue to expand, although I'm hitting pause on adding new songs at the moment because I'm working on some cool new stuff that maybe I'll get to toward the end. But if we click a tune, then here is the chord progression. And
coaster. This is wood. This is make a mark on it.
I'll mute them for you.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know if they had a question or something. So here we go. If I hit play.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And I picked a jig by accident, which I still have to improve the sound of the jigs if they're not up to standard. But here's Sparrow and I.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Does that come through okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just strumming some backup for you. We've got guitar, bass, and mandolin, and I can toggle them, if I want to hear whatever I want the band to be. And then I can change the speed. If I want to slow it down, speed it up, I can type in speed. There's an auto speed up. So if I want it to, say, increase this tempo by 1 beat per minute every time it goes through, I can do that. If I want to, say, work on a phrase or a part, I can drag to make a loop.
1,
Oh, I
2,
didn't know about
3,
that.
4.
Yeah, so it's and now it went up to 93 beats per minute. So it will kind of like slowly speed it up. That's sometimes a good way to sort of, like sneak up on the faster tempos instead of going to them all at once. This auto finish is if you just want to say how many times and then have it in itself. And then I can, of course, change the key and transpose it into whatever
1,
I want.
2, 3, 4.
And the way this works is that I've recorded every note and every chord separately, and then it's stitching them together in real time, which means that that's why I can change the tempo and the chords dynamically. And I can also make my own changes. Like say I want to make these minor chords. I don't know why you would do that, but it will obey your command there. Let's see, what else do we have? We can change how the chords are displayed. A lot of people like to have the numbers like that, or the Roman numerals. And there's some other options here, but oh yeah, and you can make lists of songs so that when you go back to the home page, if I clear this, then I've got a list. I'm starting a list, and I could have, my whole practice list here and have that all ready to go. And that's 90% of what Strum Machine is. It's just a simple tool for playing backup. Any questions so far?
Does it do 3/4 time?
It does do 3/4 time. It does 3/4 a lot better than jigs.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And it does crooked tunes too. That's, some people wonder about that, but it does do is this actually crooked? Yeah, so it'll do half measures of 2/4 time as well. I'm going to show.
How do you put in a half measure, Luke?
Yeah, let's do that.
How do you put in a half measure?
I'm going to demonstrate adding a song, and I will choose one that has a half measure. So let me think. Oh, I got a crooked tune.
Backstep.
Clinch Mountain Backstep,
Clinch
maybe?
Mountain Backstep. Sure. Classic. All right, so I'm just going to sort of play it so that we can all be listening into it together as we
take care of that and request Clinch Mountain.
right. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to now stop sharing. And this is not just about, so this is not about Strum Machine for a minute. This is just about figuring out songs by, like, tune chord progressions by ear, which is a skill of its own, and I think a really valuable skill. And I don't quite know how to teach it yet, but I'm going to at least kind of show you my process, and maybe that'll be useful for someone. So, so I usually do this with pen and paper here, and I realize I'm going to have to do this upside down, unless I can. Nope, I'm going to do it upside down. We're all going to have a laugh. So usually the way I do it is, like, most tunes are going to be, and this is going to be a bit of a problem with this tune, but I'm going to do it anyway, just to demonstrate. These are sort of my measures. Larry's asking, can you change from 3/4 to 4/4 in the same tune? Like in Blue Moon of Kentucky is a famous example. Not yet, but I have part of this big update that I'm working on, that I've been working on for a few months. It's all about the song editor. It's adding new features. So that is either coming in the next few weeks or in the next few months, but eventually it will be coming.
Cool.
So
That's great.
So Clinch Mountain Backs, yeah. So you'll be able to, like, change the time signature of either whole sections or hopefully individual measures too. But I still got to figure out the interface for that. So we're going to assume this starts on the 1 chord. I think that's a safe assumption. Nope, wrong end of the page. My wife was an elementary school teacher, and she got really good at writing upside down because of the document camera. All right, so we're going to start with 1. This is the way that
You were actually at the right end, Luke.
What is this? Oh, because it's mirroring. Right, because
Is this
Upside down
gonna,
and
like,
backwards.
This is
There we go.
I can't believe you're trying this.
Wow.
It's going to be an adventure. So Strum Machine, you can see the measures in groups of 2 downbeats. So boom, chuck, boom, chuck. That is a measure of 4/4 time. And sometimes we talk about 2/4 time or 2/2 time and cut time, and time signatures get confusing when we're trying to, like, there's many ways to transcribe a tune into written music. In Strum Machine, there's just one way, and it's 4/4 time with 2 boom chucks per measure, just to keep things simple. So I'm going to go play this tune, and then I'm going to follow it along with my pen. We're counting the downbeat, so that those bass notes, and I'm going to actually use YouTube's, and I'll show this. I don't know if probably some people know about this, but on YouTube, you can go to the gear here and playback speed, and you can slow it down with any YouTube video. So that is helpful if you aren't using, you know, what's it called? Amazing Slowdowner or whatever. Okay, here goes. And he starts like without the instruments, but he starts right on the downbeat. There.
We're not actually hearing it, Luke, just FYI.
Oh, right, because I need to share my audio. Okay. I'm going to do that again.
I believe you're gonna play.
What I did is I marked where the chords changed, because that's
Okay.
easy to hear.
I believe you're gonna backstep. Is that right?
Right. And I know this tune pretty well, so it's, you know, easier for me to do this. Okay, that's the A part. And now I can tell that I'm offset. The sort of main downbeat shifted to the middle of the measure, right? That's that half measure, the sort of measure of 2/4. And it happened here. So let's listen to that again. Now, so I marked where the chords changed, and the next, okay, so there's, you know, some of you may have the skill where you can just sort of tell what the chord is, if it's a 1 or a 4 or a 5 or something else by ear, and I have that skill, so that normally I would just write that out from the get-go. If you don't have that skill, I really would say, like, you can learn it. It is a learnable skill, and it's very useful in a lot of contexts to be able to hear a chord and say, oh yeah, that's a 1 chord, that's a 4 chord, that's a 5 chord. Because each of those chords has its own unique sound. You know, I can't tell just from hearing a chord out of context if it's A or C or D or what. But in the context of a song, I can tell if it's 1, 4, or 5, or, you know, something else, which is usually all you need. So assuming you can't do that, I think the next thing I would do is figure out where the 1 chords are, because the 1 chord is the easiest to identify. It sounds like home, right? That's when you resolve to. It's going to end on the 1 chord. That's almost always the case. It starts on the 1, each phrase starts on the 1 chord, ends on the 1 chord. That's not always the case, but you can hear with this tune.
Don't anybody write in and request him to play
Okay,
again?
okay, Carter. Here it changes, goes back to 1, changes to the same chord, then back to 1. Goes to that other chord, back to 1. Same chord, back to 1. hear how it's the same chord? So this song only has 2 chords. It's got the 1 chord and another chord, and I'll tell you that it is the 5 chord, which I'm gonna write this way, just in the interest of time. Okay, and my 5s all have little hats, but that's okay. So now all I need to do is transfer this into Strum Machine. And normally I would skip this step. I would go directly into Strum Machine, because once you get the hang of the editing interface, it's super quick. I can usually put in a tune in about 30 seconds. But since I'm doing it slow, and I'm assuming that you're not as familiar with Strum Machine as I am, I'm doing it the 2-step process. And I do this with the more complicated tunes sometimes. It's just nice to be able to, if it's challenging to transcribe, I'll do the pen and paper. So let me share my screen now. And I guess you probably can't see my paper, but clinch mount. Okay, let me slow down a little bit. I hit new song up here, enter a song name, clinch, mountain, back, step. Choose a key. We're in the key of A. And I guess, how did I know that? I guess I could sort of just go around on my guitar and try to find the matching root tone. So that's an A. So it's in the key of A. And we're in common time 4/4. So now I'm going to, what I'm doing is I'm using these keyboard controls. Spacebar adds another beat. So this is going to da 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 da. Here it changes to the 5 chord, which is A, B, C, D, E is the 5 chord. So I'll press E, we get E. We go back to A here, da 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 da, E, da 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 da. So that is the A part. I would probably go up to edit here, and I could type in A part, or there's a little shortcut for that here, A part. And I'm going to make it play twice, because that's what it does. Now, add new section. Let's do the B part. I'll go ahead and make it play twice, call it the B part. Da 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 da. There's that E. Da da. 2 beats of E. And then it goes back to A. Da 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 da. Then E. Da 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 da. Now this doesn't quite look right because they're not grouped. Like these 2 E's should be grouped together. Then the A should start on a new measure. So what I'm going to do here is this needs to be a half measure. So it's a little bit secret, but if I hit show all keyboard controls, you can see that H toggles half measure to reset the bass note. So I'll press H. That's measure of 2/4 now, and this wraps to the next line to keep it all together. So it's going to sound like this. There you go.
Sweet.
And in edit mode, you can double click anywhere to play from that spot. Right now, the play button starts from the beginning, which is a little annoying. That's going to be changing. But for now, you can double click to preview from any particular spot. So
And
there's clinch.
since you use the keyboard, I assume you would have to use a computer to enter a half measure. Is there a way to do it on a device other than that?
There's a half button. So this is what you'll see if you're on a touchscreen device.
Yeah.
You've got the letters here, sharp and flat, minor, 7th, diminished for those chords. Effect, and what effect does is it toggles between a rest, which is nothing, don't play anything, a stop, which is sounds like this, and then a diamond, which is to play it and let it ring out. And then half toggles that half measure thing.
What did you? Oh, there's a half button. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
You're little.
And on a small screen, it'll be a little fraction half, but yeah, that'll do it. Oops, I discarded it. But if I had hit save, it would have looked like this because that song is already in the library. So I hit save,
So, Luke,
and then there it is.
So when you have it written like that, I see that you don't have the AA. You just have one A and then just blank.
That's a
So
preference
just
in the core display.
I see. Okay.
So
Okay.
I like that because it's a little cleaner. But yeah.
Okay. I have a question about the difference between the website version and the app. Like for those that have downloaded the actual app from the App Store versus the web version.
Yes.
Are they the same?
Pretty much. There are just a few little differences. One, I'm trying to think. Offline mode is enabled by default. So on any web browser, you can go over here into the menu in the corner here. And there is this advanced settings thing, and you can enable offline mode. And what that does is it caches the whole website and all of the songs to your web browser. So even if you're totally disconnected from the internet, you've got your laptop in the middle of, the Himalayas or whatever, you can open it up, go to strummachine.com, and even though you don't have an internet connection, it'll load right up. All your songs will be there.
Wow,
You can even make new songs. Everything works except lists. You can't edit lists. Everything else works fine.
That's super cool. And then another feature that I want to, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you download the app, that's out of the box. And the other thing the app does, at least somewhat better than the website, is keeps Bluetooth speakers in sync, because there's an audio visual, like if you hook up a Bluetooth speaker, often the audio, there's a latency, and so it will seem behind the little chord highlight on the screen.
Interesting.
I see.
The app has code to fix that. Often it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's tricky, but your mileage may vary. But
that's awesome.
And then I just wanted to ask you about whether, so when you add a song of your own, not you, but if I add a song, does it go into the mastered library so everyone else sees it, or is it just go to mine? Or
it's just, yes. No, everyone has their own personal library. Otherwise, it'd be a complete mess, I think. There's the one way that people are sharing some songs is, so first of all, in the help in the corner, I just want to mention that there is a whole help guide that explains all the stuff. And if you are curious about, have questions or stuff, I'm always, of course, happy to answer questions. You can write me with whatever questions you have, but sometimes it's quicker to just look at the manual. There's also a forum, a community forum that I set up pretty recently, a few months ago. But one of the categories is share your charts, and people have been posting some songs. Some people have been posting whole lists of songs, like here's this list of this guy Wilson Savoy has posted like over 100 Cajun tunes, which is something that is not, I don't have many Cajun tunes in there yet, but officially, but he's shared them all. So if I click on any of these, here's his list, and I can save this to my account. And now it shows up on my home screen. So I can just click on any of those and access them. And that's something you can do too. If you make a list and you want to share it with, your bandmates, or I don't know, whatever, you can hit share here, and you'll get a link that you can send to them, and they will be able to see and access all those songs.
They would need to be Strum Machine users too, I guess, right?
They would need to be Strum Machine users. I think they can, I'm trying to remember if they can, I'm just going to check in a window, see if they can see. They can see the list, and they can see all of the chord progressions. They just can't play.
Okay.
But yeah.
There's
There's
a question in the chat from
individual.
Constantine
about
chord voicings. If there's different shape voicings that people use, I guess are they all sort of open standard?
They're all the sort of cowboy chords. There is going to be like slash chords coming, so like inversions. Maybe I'll show you. This is sort of the sneak peek.
Ooh.
This is the development version, and so here's the new song interface, and it's changed a little bit. Let me just add some songs here. This stuff is here for touch screens. Before that, the remove and add measure buttons were like somewhere weird and was not intuitive. So I think this is a little more intuitive. But here we've got chord selector, and it's got a lot more options. I've got a 6-chord, major 7. There's more chords that are going to be coming for different kinds of music. And then bass, you can set the bass note. So say I want it to go, if I want it to like send, then it would sound like this.
Cool.
I don't know if you can hear that. And this is not, there will also be bass runs coming, like actual, where you just say, I want to have a bass run to this chord, and it will do it. So I don't,
Right.
I don't want people doing this for bass runs. It'll be nicer to have a dedicated bass run feature. But yeah, so that's
put all the rhythm guitar players out of work, Luke.
Well, no, that's not my intention. Let's see what else is here.
So just Luke, we got about 5 minutes, okay? Just
okay. Yeah. Someone mentioned about a slip jig. There is actually 9/8 time for slip jigs, so you can do slip jigs. Again, they don't sound the greatest, but I am going to be working on that in the future. Yeah, I don't know. Any other questions?
I have one more question about the whole sharing lists thing. So if I share lists with somebody, and then I change it, is it some sort of a cloud-based thing where they all change, or does that person's stay the same as the original?
They're seeing like a live version of what you're sharing.
Okay.
So if
I delete it, then they'll lose it.
Yeah. I'm not, if you delete the whole list, I'm actually honestly not sure what happens. I'm not sure if they lose it, or I might have made it so that they won't, because that seems like the nice thing to do. But if you like remove songs or edit them or whatever, and yeah, only you can edit the list unless you allow other users to add remove songs. So there's a collaboration feature if you want that, but by default, it's not. Export as sound file. That is a feature that is in beta, backing track recorder. And it's the way, like, due to technical reasons, I had to make it like, so you're actually recording it live, like old school. But if I play, that's enough. It will then download a file of what I just, can't see this, but it's playing the file. So, and you can use that right now if you go to beta.strummachine.com after you're signed up. And I also, if you look, check out the forum, there lost my window there. If you go to the forum here, there's and you search for record, I made a post on with some instructions for it.
That's awesome. One other feature that I don't know if you've mentioned out yet, but I know it's really popular for people that I know, is to make an arrangement of a tune. So, not just the A-B repeating, or chord, verse, chorus, but actually like verse, chorus, so that you can have basically a whole performance.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, this is a tune, one that's like every verse is different. So I just like, it's written out like this, the whole thing, because there isn't really much of a simpler way to do it. And this is also something I want to improve. I want to make it, because there is some duplication here. So I got to figure out a way to make it so that you can just say, I want it to go verse, chorus, instrumental, chorus, bridge, chorus, and not have to like put the whole thing out like this. But this is,
it's really not that hard to do that. I've messed around a little with this, and like, I mean, sometimes I have to retype a line or two, but like, it still takes no time, really.
Yeah, and there's a duplicate here. So if I want to duplicate this, then I get a copy of it down here. So that is a very quick way to build out a whole arrangement. Yeah.
Awesome.
Jay here. I've written some tunes and used a program called Chord Player to do some different rhythms, drum track, that kind of thing. Have you played around with different rhythms?
Well, yeah. This is this has been on my very much wish list for like 2 or 3 years. More strumming patterns, up and down strung, booba chukka, kind of that stuff. It turns out it's really, really difficult to make it sound realistic. The boom chuck is so much easier than the upstrokes. I haven't given up. Hopefully 2021 is when it will all come together. I have definitely made progress, but yeah, that is coming on the wish list. Percussion, simple drums options are going to be coming. Banjo, clawhammer, and bluegrass style banjo are going to be coming. I'm super excited about that. Banjo is my first love, so I'm excited to try to build a banjo AI to do that. Yeah, and a couple other percussion stuff. The foot tapping, cool foot tapping for Quebecois stuff especially. And there was a question about exporting as printed chord charts. You can print any song page and you get a nice print-friendly chord sheet. Looks better if you're not in edit mode. But yeah, you can print chord charts just from the browser.
So this question
That's
for
fantastic,
Eric.
Luke. Sorry?
We have one more question?
A question for Eric. Have you negotiated a deal, 25% off for club members who sign up in the next week? Jay here.
We haven't talked about it. You know what? You know what? Let me just make sure this still works. Yeah. Okay. Here's a little code. I'll drop it in the chat, but it is, wait, let me stop sharing. Strummachine.com/tryit, TRYIT. That'll give you a double length free trial. So you get a whole month to use it for free. You don't have to put in a credit card. So there's like no obligation.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
Thank you.
Have fun.
That's great. And you know, that's awesome. And, but I have to say, like, from a musical perspective, it's the best deal going as far as I'm concerned to subscribe to this, you know, not to mention all the great work you're doing on it to improve it in the future. So
thank you.
I think
Thank you so much.
It's a great contribution and really appreciate the app and your time to share with us today, Luke.
Yeah, thank you so much, Luke.
My pleasure.
And for those of you that haven't got the app yet, you can get it. You can go to strummachine.com. You can go to the App Store and get it.
I would strongly recommend that you go to strummachine.com, get an account, then get the app, because due to Apple, I have to, if you sign up via the app, you will be put in one of those things where you will automatically be charged. I hate it, but I couldn't get around it. So sign up with the website and you will not be charged unless you put in your credit card. So
that's good.
And there's an annual plan available on the website that's cheaper, and I can prorate your refund if you cancel early, which Apple won't let me do. So
fantastic.
And they don't take 30%, so it's just win-win all around.
That's definitely a win-win. Good.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Yeah. So if you have, I know there's way more that Luke could have talked about. If you have any questions, first check out the help file. It's in the it's built in. It's got lots and lots of great ideas, but if you need help, there's also lots of ways to reach him.
Yeah, love hearing from people.
That's awesome. Take it easy. We're gonna head into a jam. You're welcome to stick around and play some tunes with us if you like.
Thanks. Sure, have fun.
Excellent. All right, I'm gonna stop recording now.
Thanks.
And
thank you.
Awesome.